Ameera Murad Ameer, or Mimi as she is affectionately known, is a two-time Zimbabwean Fashion Week Blogger of the Year award winner. She formed the trendy lifestyle blog, Kicking It with Mimi, in 2011 and has successfully established herself as a top lifestyle blogger in Zimbabwe with a growing African audience across the continent. In this episode, we sat down with Mimi to find out the secrets to her success.
Wow, I think it's all really about being organized. So I always try plan my month ahead. So for the month of September, I'll know this is where I'm going to, this is where I'm traveling, these are the weekends I'm available. In terms of work, this is what I need to deliver. I need my reports done by this certain date. I have my corporate work as well. So really planning is key, and I always plan in advance. So every month, to plan this, it took us a few weekends to get the free time. So you really just need to be organized, and it's all possible. As millennials, we're always on the go, and yeah, we make time work for us. It's all dependent on which partners I'm working with. So I do my own videos as well, but I also love to work with videographers and creatives who are trained to do that and also experienced. So it's a mixture of me doing my own stuff, but also I love to partner with creatives. It depends on the budget, depends on who I'm partnering with, and if you have the budget, and I will definitely have a whole team from glam squad to your videographer and post-production. So I work with a whole range of people, and sometimes you just kind of have to improvise. And I've also upscaled myself because I realized sometimes you need to be a bit cost efficient, and it's actually been great learning more skills. I started off on iMovie, and I then realized that I now need to upscale and actually move to the more your Adobe and all those other programs. So now I'm like, I need to upscale my video editing. So you're always learning, and you're always partnering with the different people. Firstly, the way I packaged my content, we're talking 2014, 2015, and it was around the time where I don't think there was a lot of content around fashion in Zimbabwe, and so I think the market really liked the way I was packaging it. And then on top of that, I was a girl with a bit of curves and extra chunk, so I kind of made fashion seem relatable for most people. Everyone thinks fashion is size 2, size 4, but here's a size 16 having fun with fashion and showing how different women of different sizes can enjoy fashion. So I think that was definitely a plus. Yeah. I definitely hate it when people say I like your complexion or I like your skin tone. I think it's a bit weird when people say I like girls with your skin. And I know people will probably watch this and be like, oh, there's a yellow bone, not appreciating or whatever it is, but I just kind of don't believe in those kind of stereotypes of yellow bone or whatever people want to call people with my skin tone. But yeah, I think it's I want to be more than just a yellow bone, which really and also I like girls your size, which is okay. Can't I just be a beautiful woman? But at the same time, I guess there's some flattery to it, but I think when you start becoming objectified because you have a bit of extra curves or of your skin tone, but yeah, people say all sorts of interesting things. Especially in the DMs. But yeah, gosh, people are very confident on text. Hey, I've been offered dinner dates. Just interesting comments about curves. But yeah. Well, I think my fans actually haven't been that crazy, but it's always interesting if I receive something, I'm like, how did you know where I stay? Or if I'm out and about and people have been very nice. They'll send me something to my table, but it's never hasn't really been something that's crazy, but yeah, whenever people send me stuff, I'm like, how did you know where I stay? That's always a bit scary, because it's like, how did you know where I stay? But mostly people have been amazing. I am appreciating the love, but yeah. Probably maybe Mauritius. I would have said Cape Town, but that was going to be a bit too obvious, because I studied there and I go there on holiday a lot. But I liked Mauritius. It's a beautiful place. But I guess, I don't know, islands are interesting, but it is beautiful, and they had great weather. And I mean, they have great tax rules there, so you know, your money's good in Mauritius. I think Mauritius was one of the countries that I loved, and maybe followed by Tanzania, because I think Dar es Salaam was quite interesting as well. And it's busy. It's not, I feel like with island life you could get a bit bored after some time, but with Dar es Salaam there's that fast-paced life as well. I think one of my biggest partnerships was with Legacy Lifestyle. And I think what was very valuable about the Legacy Lifestyle partnership is that they are a Pan-African brand with their head offices being in South Africa. So for me, when I signed with them, we're going into maybe our 3rd year of working together with Legacy Lifestyle. I think it was a big moment for me, because they were a South African brand, and I often got a lot of short-term, contracts. But with them, they were saying, look, we actually have a long-term vision, and being one of the first bloggers, they now have, I think, more bloggers that they're working with, especially in West Africa, but one of the first bloggers to actually sign with Legacy Lifestyle from Zimbabwe. At that time, I was like, no ways, along, these names. I think Kirsty Coventry, before she became minister, was also one of them. Vimbai, like, these are names that I felt like, wow, like I'm amongst, people who are, in their own right, Olympic, medalists and all of that. So I think it was an amazing endorsement by Legacy, and I appreciated that they kind of saw the value that I could bring to their brand. And working with Legacy then opened a lot of doors for many other people. And I've worked with DSTV in the past. I've worked with MAC Cosmetics. I mean, the list really goes on. I've worked with Edgar's in Zimbabwe. So I've had different partnerships, and they've all brought different value in different ways, whether it was monetary or product exchange or service exchange. And that's the other thing about doing business in Zim, is that people always want to necessarily make a cash exchange, but you can still value a service. And that's really, I think, important. It's not always necessarily about the money, but being able to value what you're exchanging. But obviously the end goal is you want to make money. Everybody wants to make money. And so I think I'm even still trying to perfect my model of how to earn actual cash, not just services and products, which most people are willing to give. But I think you really have to then just fight and say, this is what I'm worth. And people will see the value that you bring and work with you. Yeah. Of course. If I didn't see that, then what growth do I have as a person? I want to be an entrepreneur. So yes, I do, and I'm definitely working towards that. And I think every person wants to be empowered. And I always read articles, and I always talk about millennials, one of those people that's like millennials. But I think millennials want to be empowered. They want to have their own businesses. They want to have flexible working hours. So yes, and I encourage everyone to one day want to have their own businesses. I think that ambition and growth is all part of it. And I don't, I've learned so much from being in corporate, and it's actually helped me open doors to understand how corporates think. So for me, it was very strategic to work with corporates and to be formally employed and do blogging. But ideally, of course, bloggers in the rest of the world are not formally employed. So I think part of my business module, absolutely, I should be sustainable in what I'm doing, and I should branch into things. Who knows, there might be a plus size fashion line coming. I want to grow and not just do blogging. I also want to start my own businesses. So I think absolutely, yeah. Sorry, boss. But yeah. So there are definitely definitely ups and downs. It's definitely not all glamorous and fabulous. I mean, firstly, starting off, it was hard to get people to actually want to partner with you because you're trying to propose what you can do for people, and people are not necessarily like, okay, so what have you done? So it was kind of hard to take off. And okay, then you take off, and then you go through what's happening in Zimbabwe right now, and people just don't have money, and they will say, we do not have money. So, you know, I then had to be like, okay, people are not willing to pay for this. People are not necessarily willing to partner, but I need content. And it costs money. You've got fuel queues. I mean, this is probably the toughest time in terms of my blogging career, in terms of what's happened in Zim economically. But at the same time, you can see a challenge as an opportunity or a problem. It depends on your outlook. And so I was like, okay, I'm not going to be that person who's complaining about, you know, fuel or whatever it is. I'm going to be creative. And so whether it's been service exchanges, which has been great, because other creatives also want services. So, you know, people have been a bit more open to exchanging their services as opposed to paying for things, which, I mean, of course, you know, like I said, as a business, you're supposed to be making money, but it's still something, you know, when you can value what you're offering and say, well, this is actually what it's valued at. So yeah, just trying to look at challenges as opportunities. And I think Zimbabwe has an exciting future ahead. And also I've been looking outside of Zimbabwe as well. You know, you can simply say I'm just going to limit myself to Zim, but I've also been looking towards working with other brands, and I've worked with brands in Tanzania and South Africa, and now I'm definitely looking into more countries like Namibia and Zambia as well, which have a lot of exciting things. I think as Zimbabweans we can be creative and be more Pan-African as well. Wow, there's always a few of those moments. I think there's certain brands that I've maybe had partnered with that didn't really fit where I was going, and when I looked in, you know, introspect and all that, you're like, that was not really the best decision. Yeah, I think mainly not. Before I realized that I wanted to do more luxury, high end, there were a few partners that I was like, fashion choices. You don't always make the right fashion choice. Like there are times I'm like, okay, that outfit did not work. So I think when I look at some of my fashion choices in the past, and even still, you still have bad days sometimes, you know, but you need to have a good team that will tell you like, oh girl, that did not work. So yeah, fashion choices, I definitely made a few of them. And yeah, I mean, you just have to bounce back and you learn from them. So no regrets. They're all life lessons. But yeah, you know, it's part of the industry. The funniest thing, I did these, you know, like 4 locks, but they're done with like woolen hair, and I posted it on my Facebook, and my Facebook fans were like, you're looking like a jigure, like, and I was like, how are you mistaking my 4 locks for being a jigure? Like, really? So you get people that may not understand your fashion choices. They may not understand that you got green hair. Why do you have pink hair? It's, you know, why do you have 4 locks that look messy? So yeah, sometimes you have to stand by your fashion choices and be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna rock green hair to a corporate meeting. Why not? And I'm gonna have jigure inspired hair. Why not? So yeah, there've been a few moments I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to, you know, stand up for that. Another thing is being plus size. I've had some fans hate on my swimsuit pictures, believe it or not. And I feel like it's just online trolls and bullying, but I've had a few comments to be like, really, you gonna wear that bikini and you know your waist ain't snatched or whatever it is? But you know, I stand by that you know, real women have a bit of extra junk, and that's totally fine. You know, we're not sculpted, and great to women who go to gym and are super toned and have that on lock. But you know, you also have women that have all sorts of figures. So yeah, you really have to stand by your content sometimes, because you are gonna get trolls and people are gonna be like, why are you doing that? And you're gonna have to be like, you know what, I'm fabulous and I'm still gonna rock this. Like, I'm living. I think at the end of the day, like I'm going forward. Like what you're doing hating, you know, like I think you can spend your time bringing other people down. It's so easy, but you know, you let your success speak for itself. And you may not agree, but hey, if you're hating, you're still a fan. If you're hating, you're still a fan. So yeah, that's my little saying. Oh, good life, Kanye West. Hey, I wouldn't sing. I wouldn't want to do that to the viewers. But good life, Kanye West. Yes. I love me Kanye. So yeah, I think good life would definitely be it. Wow, I always say until there's a halo diamond ring on this finger, my relationships are gonna be private. I just like to keep it that way. I think it also adds some mystery. I don't think people should know everything about you. And plus, when everyone's invested in your relationship, then you need to be justifying why you're no longer with that person. So for me, it's easier. But yeah, I mean, I definitely always get what I want though. That's what I can definitely tell you. But yeah, let's wait for the dowry. Let's wait for the wedding ring. Yeah. Well, definitely some of the ridiculous things are these online relationships that happen in my DMs. So sometimes I'm nice, sometimes I'll respond to you showing love. So I'll show you love too, in a nice, professional way. But I mean, I've had people literally be like, so I'm in Harare next week or wherever they're going to be and I'm going to be, and they're like, can we have lunch? And I don't respond. And then they're having conversations with themselves and they're like, did I do something wrong? Was it something that I said? And it's just like, guys, I don't know you like that. I'm not just gonna have lunch with you. And yeah, it's always wild. So yeah, the DMs get interesting. Maybe if you're lucky, I'll share some with you. But yeah, I know you didn't do anything wrong, but you know, we're just not gonna do lunch or dinner.